We're going back in time, counting down the top 80 songs from the greatest pop music decade in the history of human civilization, the 1980s. You're listening to the 80 of the 80s podcast with your hosts, DJ CK1 and AK47. I am AK47.
Child of the 90s. I'm CK1, child of the 80s. 90s suck.
I was born in 82, man.
Is that how you determine who is it a child?
I am actually a child of the 80s. I was created and born in the 80s.
There's no way in hell I would consider I was born in the 70s, but there's no way in hell I would consider myself child.
He's going to be a snob about everything we talk about, so let's just move on.
I don't think it's when you're born. I think it is when you come of age.
Okay.
And I can your age of awareness, of reason, of what?
You're rambling. This is not on a roll. You need to shut up.
This is about the 80s, babe.
When you tell me that I can lead the show for once, let me lead it, okay?
Go ahead.
What number is this?
You can't even remember what number it is.
Number 72.
72.
Stone Roses, She Bangs the Drums.
Yes. Okay.
One word. Tell me what you think of the song.
What's
the first word that comes to your head?
About the secret
We'll get to that in a second.
I think of boobs.
Boobs?
Well, because I'm staring at your boobs. I mean, because I have boobs. Because it's very important for a woman to nurse. I was about to say breastfeed, but that nurse her child. The importance of nursing. Mm-hmm. Yes.
While I agree with that, that's an odd answer. So we're going to move on.
Can I explain why I think my boobs come to mind?
I have a pretty good idea, but please, go right ahead.
She bangs the drums. I've just been thinking about the meaning, and all I can come to is that it says, I can see her, here she comes, she bangs the drums. I said, what could that mean? All I can think is that this a lady, when she's walking, her breasts are going up and down and up and down. How many female drummers have you ever heard of?
There are female drummers out there.
Okay, name a female drummer that is not an all-female group.
Okay, yeah.
Right. I'm thinking.
But does that matter? That doesn't mean they're not great drummers.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm sure the drummer Vixen is incredible.
You are going to be attacked by flaming vaginas. Let's continue.
All right, let's talk about what the song means.
You already talked about it. It's boobs.
Then he says, "Kiss me where the sun don't shine. The past was yours, but the future's mine." The vocalist Ian Brown wrote the verse, and then John Squire, the guitarist, wrote the chorus. So I think John Squire was writing about boobs, but I think Ian Brown was writing about Kiss My Butt, 80s pop, because here comes the 90s, and this Brit-Pop movement is going to be the future. Past the synthesizer pop, future is going to be jangly guitars.
Jangly.
We're talking about is it the second or third British invasion? You could say it's the triangle, because you got Brett Anderson of Suede. Brett Anderson hates Damon Albarn, who hates Liam Gallagher, who hates Brett Anderson, right?
Liam Gallagher hates everybody.
So I guess that goes both ways then.
But it would be Noel. I think Noel would be the one that's more in the triangle.
And then in the center you have Jarvis Cocker of Paul, he's just kind of like over everything. He's like, pfft.
This song, to me, I think immediately, early 90s, Gin Blossoms, Flaming Lips, that type of stuff, you know?
Gin Blossoms.
I'm not saying I think the Gin Blossoms are a great band or anything. I'm just saying that's the type of music it makes me think of. When people say they're revolutionary, they absolutely are, or they were.
One of the greatest bands of all time.
Didn't know a whole lot about the Stone Roses until we really started kind of delving in and researching them, and we watched the documentary, which was called
Blood on the Turntable.
Okay. Learned a lot about them, gained a whole lot of respect for them, because they were put through fucking hell with their manager. He's nuts.
Well,
the guy is nuts.
Their record label.
Yeah, the contract that they had was crap.
Right, yeah, thanks to their manager.
Yes, and he said he signed it anyway, knowing that it was crap. The guy's an idiot. No manager would sign it knowing it was crap. But that's all besides the point. I personally think the reason the Stone Roses are as popular still to this day is because they were revolutionary.
One of the greatest bands of all time.
I think the first album in itself was a great album. It was good.
The greatest debut album of all time.
But I don't think it was as good as...
Was it great or good?
It was great. For the time, it was great.
One of the greatest bands of all time.
My opinion and the types of music that I like now, I would say it was good. For me, it was good.
The greatest debut album of all time.
Second album was terrible. I just don't think they deserve the hype that they have.
One of the greatest bands of all time.
I think the reason is kind of similar to Elvis. Elvis was fantastic, but I think part of the reason he was so fantastic and so popular is just because he was different. And they came out with completely different... I mean, they started the 90s sound.
He was perceived as different. I mean, of course, Elvis had his influences.
Of course. But I'm just saying the sound that they came out with was different.
The greatest debut album of all time.
But I don't think they personally deserve the popularity that they still have to this day.
One of the greatest bands of all time.
If you listen to this self-titled album from '89, there's great musicians. A drummer who has a trademark hat. If you see him on the street, hey, it's the guy from Stone Roses. The bass player's got a nice groove going on as well. The guitarist, he's jangly, but he also has a little bit of blues, and it's also kind of loud like a trumpet, especially like she bangs the drums during the long bridge. Dun 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 dun. Got all those ingredients. Listen to this album again because I haven't listened to it in a while. It's very memorable, hummable, singable songs. It would be worthy of a greatest hits for another band. Keep in mind they had 3 or 4 years from starting the band till when they got their first album, so they had all that time to rehearse and train and perform and get some good songs together. While their second album they recorded in the studio.
It was not good.
Right, yeah, and they should have spent all that time between the first and second album, that 4 years when they're having their legal problems, writing and rehearsing probably some.
I just think that was probably the last thing on their minds, because I think that when they were going through all that legal crap, they probably didn't even know whether they would continue as a band or not. So why would you write music if you're not even sure you're going to continue on? So I mean, we don't know what they were going through. It seemed like they were going through a lot. A very stressful time for them. They're still popular to this day, so they did something right.
There was that movie that we saw about the hooligans, and they were beating up some rival gangs to the song Elephant Stone, which Elephant Stone is kind of again not really like the most. It's not like punk music, but then if you take the song Bye Bye Bad Man, which the lyrics are all about violence, but Ian Brown is just singing kind of like, I'm going to throw stones at you.
I'm throwing stones at you, man. I want you back at the line. I'm gonna make you bleed. Gonna bring you down to your knees. Bye bye bad man. Bye bye.
Kind of reminds.
Manchester must be a really shitty place.
Well, yeah, they always go on as if it is, and I think it's northern. It's considered northern England. Northern England's more industrial, so I'm getting folks from Manchester, if anyone's listening, or England in period. That's the impression that us Americans have gotten from the media that we have consumed. So,
but great music has come from Manchester.
Yes.
So not entirely dissing Manchester here.
So many incredible bands.
So many.
Yeah.
So many.
We got the Smiths and James and if there was the documentary, sorry, it's a biopic about Tony Wilson of Factory Records, 24 Hours Party People, about the Manchester scene, they call it, which is kind of the Manchester dance scene. I think they mentioned Stone Roses one time in the documentary. They really looked over a lot. Of course, we've got New Order,
Oasis,
got Joy Division, Oasis.
But what do you think of the song? Like,
very melodic verse. It goes verse, chorus, a long bridge, and then a chorus.
Okay.
And I like the arrangement on the song, and it has pop hit single written all over it.
Have you seen or have you heard the way she plays that are no words to describe the way I feel?
And they didn't really chart that high. None of the Stone Roses songs off of their first album really charted high in UK, but yet they're considered legendary songs that everyone can sing along to. Mm-hmm. They're so big now that recently their tickets went on sale. I think they sold 150,000 in 14 minutes. And this is a group that has only released 2 albums, and the last one was 92. So
yeah, and it was not a good album.
Right,
Even people who were fans thought it was a bad album.
Yes,
so yeah,
right.
The videos. What do you think of the videos?
I like how you're leading this show. We're very efficient here, aren't we?
I hope we're not being lame though, not goofing off.
Talk about goofy. That first video was pretty goofy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's one of the worst, not the worst, maybe one of the worst videos. It reminds me of the Sonic Youth video where they had just close-ups of Macaulay Culkin's face. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just take it at face value. It's Macaulay Culkin. But this just had close-ups. Like half the video was a close-up of the bass player's face looking goofy. This is the video critique of "She Bangs the Drums" from HQ2.
How do you podcast it?
This is how.
Oh. Hi.
All right, watch the video.
Oh. This is so boring. Same words. Did we watch the computer next? Okay, what happened to his eye? I just don't want to watch it.
You just don't want to watch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Because it's just so boring. I think it's going off now.
That was the original video. Fortunately, they released a second video where it had pictures, live performance, and you see Ian Brown, the vocalist, doing his little...
He's like Davy Jones monkeys.
With the microphone in his right hand. And so you kind of get more of the energy, I think, from the group. So the second one does the band more justice.
This is the Stone Roses.
Let's move on to our...
Oh, I would like to point out something. Is that okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We received a email from a very concerned listener.
Yes, a listener who apparently, and we appreciate this.
Yes.
If it's our email is 80ofthe80s @gmail.com. If you would like to drop us a line and any corrections or rants or comments
medical
or feedback, and if you're fortunate, hey, if we like what you write, we'll read it on the air and get your opinion out.
Let me take this one.
Yes,
this one was geared towards me. It was a little bit of friendly medical advice that apparently some listeners are concerned about my stress incontinence and that I pee on myself, basically. I don't actually pee on myself, by the way, but I appreciate that. I've been told that I need to...
You don't pee, you dribble. So
if we're gonna get technical about it here.
Okay, so what do you urinate on yourself, right? Because if any urine is expelled from your bladder, then that's technically urinating.
So then after a guy goes to the bathroom, if he doesn't shake well enough, if he dribbles afterwards, is he urinating on himself?
You have me there.
Exactly. Okay. Any woman who's had children knows that it can happen. But aside from that,
aren't you going to read the email?
I was basically instructed that I needed to do some exercises to strengthen my pelvic floor, and I appreciate that because apparently peeing on yourself can have some repercussions as you get older. I was not aware of that. So
because you smell? I'm not saying you smell, but you will.
You'll just pee on yourself more. Your pelvic floor will kind of weaken, and you'll just flood your pants. So I appreciate the email. And I'm doing pelvic exercises as we speak. Thank you very much.
With my assistance.
I don't need your assistance.
Well, thank you, Mr. Med School student.
This is disgusting. Let's move on. But you know what I am concerned about? When I see Ralph Hooter.
Hey, okay, so is this becoming like a Ralph Hooter segment? Are we going to have Hooter?
This is.
I don't want to repeat of our last show.
No, we're going to start a Ralph Hooter segment.
Every show?
Every show.
This is the 80s podcast. This is not the Ralph Hooter podcast.
Okay.
Is it Hooter or Hooter? Hooter or Hooter?
I don't have a German accent. I don't know. But no, this actually ties into the stress
Who's your boyfriend and you don't even know him?
This stress. Can I?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm worried about seeing him in concert because, might get too excited.
For our listeners, we've had a development within the last week.
Yay.
Yes. Tell them the news.
Okay. Kraftwerk is touring the U.S., as you probably know, and if you don't, you should.
Are they even really Kraftwerk?
Yeah, they're still
It's just
Kraftwerk.
only one quarter of
Well,
Kraftwerk.
new members can join the band, But
It's
anyway,
like Menudo.
you are ruining my
Okay,
moment.
I'm sorry.
Shut up.
Okay.
Anyway, Kraftwerk is touring, and I was very fortunate. I snagged 2 tickets. Front row, thank you very much, right in front of Ralph Hooter. How does that happen? How does that happen?
You'll be on the pelvic floor, right?
I will be right in front of him. Right in front of him.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. It's
And
meant to be.
As much as it pains me to be there while you're going gaga, listeners, I have to explain. I have to be there because someone has to keep her from getting arrested.
No, see, here's the thing. I love him. Love him, I adore him, okay? But I have boundaries. And I know he's kind of standoffish. He doesn't want people to, as much as I may fantasize about actually doing it, I'm not really going to. I respect his space, but he can't control my thoughts.
You'll be breathing.
And neither can you.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
I will lay off of Ralph Hooter in the future podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
The triangle is coming to a close here.
Now, I'm curious about this. It's called the 3D tour. Are we going to be wearing 3D glasses?
I don't think so. I think
Well-
it's just because of the screen in the background, right?
Well, why do they call it 3D tour unless if the screen's going to be?
Well, because
Like-
they're wearing outfits that the lights kind of interact with.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, so they
No,
look 3D.
They
I think.
will be at 3D because there's going to be them in person. We'll
Okay, yeah,
be able to see all
that's-
3 of their
yeah.
dimensions, or 4 dimensions
Yes.
if you include the
There
sound,
you go.
right?
Yes.
And 5th dimensions if you include the feel, if they're
Okay.
feeling them right. Yeah. So
Feeling
that wraps it up for this show. Tune in next time for number 71. I wonder what it's going to be.
I'm dying to know.
Can't wait, huh? Well, fortunately for us, we have the Gobotron 2000 right here. Go ahead, we're going to press the results button. We have taken the results from the board, all the figures and all the raw data, and we're going to input them into the Gobotron 2000, and it's going to spit out what the number 71 song is going to be for next time.
You're giving us a sneak peek?
Yes, it is. It's going to be a
No
sneak peek
way.
for the number 71 song. Well, what is it going to be? Push the button.
I don't know.
Push
Let
the
me
button.
push the button.
Whoa, it's going out of control. The Gobotron 2000 is going out of control.
Smoke! I can't see! Where are you?
Oh no, it's broken now. Now I'm going to have to repair it. If I can't repair the Gobotron 2000, we can't do our show. But maybe you, our audience, can let us know, what song was that? What was the song that the Gobotron was playing right before it blew up? If you know, you can email us. Our email address is 80s. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. Our email address is 80ofthe80s.com at gmail.com. Let me do this right.
The smoke is getting to your head.
Yes, it is. Yeah. the email address is 80ofthe80s at gmail.com. So that's 80s at. No.
Let me do this, okay? It's 80 of the 80s. It's 80 of the 80s at gmail.com.
Right. Yeah. So email us in and let us know. And if you're the first person with the correct answer, you'll get a mention on our show. So
Hey, no, we don't do shout outs,
we
man.
don't do no. I think this is a very special occasion. Your prize will be a shout out, a very personal shout out. And,
Assuming the show can go on, what if we can't fix the Gobotron?
we'll have to buy a new model.
Gobotron 3000.
Yeah, the Gobotron 3000. Yes.
R.I.P. Gobotron. Thanks for listening to the 80 of the 80s podcast. You can download more episodes at TuneIn, Stitcher, or iTunes. Like us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel. That name again, 80 of the 80s. Until the next song, this is AK-47 thanking you for your power play.
What's your favorite video?
When the computer.
What's your least favorite video? Like the one you hate the most.
The grind, the derp, land of confusion.
The what?
The disturbed version of
Oh, the disturbed land of confusion. Yeah, you're right. That is, yeah,
I
okay.
don't even know if I've ever seen that.
Wise words.
Yeah.